Hello everybody, Flik here, and welcome to the first of a new small series I'm considering running that I have no idea what I'm calling yet. This is kind of my answer to people who kept on asking, like during my 1500 video, etc., about when or if the podcast was coming back, and I explained in that the numerous reasons why we don't do them and also why I don't upload them to my channel anymore. So I thought maybe every now and then I would do just a small video, audio only, because it saves on space, of me just talking about anything that has taken my attention, either in the world of gaming, or in the world of YouTubing, or anything like that at all, or indeed anything that gets suggested in the comments of the previous part. And that way you get a little chatty thing to listen to while you, dig in Starbound or grind in MMOs. And hopefully it'll take the place of the podcast as just a nice little bite-sized chunk of something to listen to. And the reason I want to keep it small is because if it's a very small size to upload, and it should be, because I'm aiming to keep these like say under 20 minutes of mostly just audio, then I should be able to upload it on days where I've also had to upload, say, a new Monster Hunter video, which takes me literally the whole day. That's the plan anyway. So you might be wondering why I decided to do this. Well, I've been thinking about doing something like this for a little while, especially after the positive reception to my 1500th video, which was basically just me talking endlessly for an hour and 20 minutes. I am amazed that it got as much attention as it did, and that people seem to be totally fine with paying attention to me for that long, because, if you believe what YouTube tells you, the average attention span on YouTube is 12 seconds. So if this has already bored you, you're already gone, so I can insult these people if they are indeed the people with 12-second attention spans. I find it hard to believe, and I think receptions like my 1500th video got are actually proof that, not everybody has such a bad attention span. I actually do have a bad attention span, but it's not 12 seconds. That is ridiculous. So I did have a couple of things to talk about today. The first is a crappy night I had because, well, here in Scotland last night we got hit by ridiculously strong winds and stormy rain. I don't know how it would compare to any of you guys in America, so maybe it's tiny by comparison, but let's say it got up to like 80-mile-an-hour winds or 70, whatever. The reason it's especially annoying is I got woken up at about 3 AM, having gone to bed like, close to 1, by the sound of a tree collapsing outside my house. Now thankfully it didn't land on my house or indeed any of my neighbours, and it also didn't blow in the direction of the cars. It actually fell towards a grassy area, so it's not damaged anything. However, the sound did indeed wake me up, and I find it very hard to sleep if there's any kind of irritating background noise, so I was pretty much up for the rest of the night. I think I dozed off again when the wind calmed down at around about 8 AM, but then I had Gasman coming at 9 AM, so I've had about an hour's sleep at this point, which is possibly also why I've decided to try and record something as ridiculously stupid as this. And to confound it all, the rain and wind has come back. Well, actually the wind has come back, but the rain has been replaced with heavy snow. And if you do click back to the video now, you'll see a little muted video of me filming from my window, or a window, showing you the snow that is falling on top of the tree that collapsed last night. So that should give you an idea of how much has fallen in basically like half an hour, because as I say, the tree didn't fall until last night. I don't like the snow. I don't mind the snow, but it's the wind and lack of sleep. I woke up and I said on Twitter first thing, I've had an hour's sleep, today is not going to be a productive day. I'm hoping to turn that around. Actually, after I finish this, I'm going to attempt another State of Decay recording and see how that goes. Of course, what doesn't help that I didn't get a good night's sleep last night was everyone found out about the new changes that YouTube is bringing into effect sometime in January, and that's the other thing I wanted to bring up as kind of just a general talking point. For those who don't know, it's a new approval system regarding monetization, which is actually basically identical to what non-partnered people have to go through. So for example, if you're not with a partner and you upload a funny video of your cat, I don't know, most people do cat videos, so yeah, let's go with that. You apply for monetization. YouTube then watches your video and decides on a video by video basis whether or not you have the rights to monetize what you have uploaded. That's what pretty much everyone has to do. Now up until these changes coming, partnership meant that you didn't have to go through that approval process. You were kind of given a green flag to go through. Now naturally you can still be copyright strict. If someone reports your videos and if you obviously break the rules, but having a partnership was a way to get around the constant waiting for videos to be approved. Sometimes videos won't get approved even though you have 100% rights to do you know, to put everything that's in the video. Or for example, some gaming companies obviously issue statements, like Minecraft is a perfect example, where in their user terms it says you can monetize any video of this you want, I don't care. Notch is good like that. And sometimes YouTube just won't do their paperwork, so even if you link them to it, they'll just, you know, deny the video. I've heard of that happening numerous times, unfortunately, which is bad, and that's why that system doesn't work, in my opinion, and why one of the reasons why partnership was so good. Now, partnership will seem less appealing under these new rules when, or indeed if, I guess, they come into effect in January sometime, which is the date we've all been told, which is why people, you know, such as Angry Joe, etc., are going on rampages on Twitter right now regarding it. So yeah, I can understand that point of view, because if you no longer have that trust blanket, I don't know how else to describe it really, of being under a partnership, a partner who apparently has all these deals in place with other game publishers, I can definitely understand that sharing revenue with them once you have to go through the same monetization process as everyone else seems a little less valuable in terms of what they can offer you. Now, I happen to be lucky because I'm with Polaris, and they are probably the biggest. I don't know how they compare to Machinima directly. I would say they're probably in front, maybe. Either way, they're one of the best, and can I say that I've had value outside of purely having my videos protected regarding monetization instantly? I can say absolutely yes, I have. If I have any questions or I want advice on, you know, how to market myself, etc., I just need to send a Skype message. I don't even need to leave an email ticket. I have direct correspondence with numerous people in the company. I wouldn't have been able to do the collaboration with Dodger had it not been for Polaris, so that's definitely something to look at, and indeed there's more opportunities similar to that in the pipeline potentially that I can't go into for, you know, reasons. So I would definitely say that I've had value out of my partner on YouTube, outside of purely the protection regarding monetization. However, there are a lot of smaller networks. I don't want to name names, but let's, you know, they are lesser known, and they basically just saw what the big guys like Polaris and, you know, Maker Studios, which is Polaris essentially, and Machinima, they were doing, and they thought, we can get in on that, we can just offer people protection, we can just claim to have all these rights to video game publishers, even if they don't actually give permission to anybody. Like I saw one of the smaller people saying you can monetize, you know, Microsoft Studio games, and you technically can. Although I don't think they actively witch hunt on YouTube, because I didn't know Microsoft Studios had a blanket no YouTube monetization, or YouTube in general, clause in their terms. And I did upload a couple of videos of Halo 4, but I think they would have been safe anyway, because it was Blighty and I doing post commentary over it, discussing our tactics and whatnot, which is actually fair use, or at least can be argued on that. Whether or not the person who YouTube's end decides to check this and agrees or not is another issue, really. And that's one other thing I wanted to talk about. The people at YouTube, if you read their terms, they specifically say the advice they give on what can be monetized and what can't. They say at the end of it, we are not lawyers, we can't say for sure one way or the other, consult a lawyer. But the thing is, lawyers can't say for sure one way or the other either, really, because it's all up in the air. So the honour system that's kind of coming back for everybody is going to be a bit difficult to deal with for lots and lots of reasons. The worst part that I think most people are complaining about, those who definitely have 100% use of their content, or indeed use other people's content for the purposes of review, which is 100% acceptable, in my opinion anyway, under fair use. The problem they're having is that this approval process from YouTube, especially once everybody's back under it, not just those who aren't partnered, the estimation is going to be between a few hours and a few days. So those of you who upload on a schedule are pretty much screwed over. You can't say, oh, I have two new videos every day, it's, I don't know, 5 PM and 10 PM. You can't do that anymore, and scheduling is apparently exceptionally important. I haven't really looked into it too much, although I have started scheduling when my videos go live. And it just so happens right now I have a backlog of uploads because I had a couple of small videos, so I was able to give myself a breather room. So once this new system rolls in, I might still be okay, in the sense that I'll upload a video on a given day and I submit it for monetization. I might still have 2 more days of videos to go up first, which gives it time. Now, the suggestion of what to do about this is that just upload your video and put it as unlisted until it gets monetized, because then you can make it live and it'll go to subscribers' feeds, etc., and then you'll get the monetization hits. It's such a pain to do that, and it's also not very nice. The nice guy alternative is, you know, just upload the video, and yeah, it won't be monetized as soon as it goes online. You might miss out on a lot of monetized views as a result, but is that better? It's better for the viewer, I suppose, but Is it better for someone trying to make their livelihood out of it? I don't know. So right now I have a backlog, so it shouldn't be an issue on the assumption it doesn't take them longer than 2 days to decide whether or not a video can be monetized. But if I ever lose that kind of backlog that's already uploaded, then I would have to be... I'm not sure what I would do. I would probably just post it. And, if it gets monetized, fine. If it doesn't, fine. If I lose out on the biggest chunk of hits you get on a video when it first goes live as a result, fine. It's annoying. In regards to content, I think pretty much all my content should remain the same. The indie devs that contact me for my Let's Look At series obviously are verbatim giving me permission to create a monetized video, although I may have to actually start specifically saying that to make sure I'm covered. And I usually do playthroughs of, lesser known games or games from publishers who do not care, although that may not be enough now, because if you have to submit documentation, assuming YouTube asks for more information, it isn't okay anymore just to have a game by a publisher who doesn't give a rat's ass about whether or not you monetize. They have to actually specifically say somewhere that it's fine. So, that lots of publishers may change their mind and then start doing that. I certainly hope to do, because it'd make my life a lot easier and everyone else's who tries to do the same thing. But things are changing, and it's, as per usual, it's for the worst in my opinion. But that does send a positive message if you are growing your YouTube channel currently and are considering whether or not to join a partnership. My advice would be, unless it is an exceptionally big partner, such as Machinima or one of the maker ones, which is Polaris or RPM, one of the very well established, very large partners who manage the biggest people, like PewDiePie, etc., then I would just avoid them, because you're going to have to go through the same process as well. Yes, they can offer you other services. However, I don't see how those smaller companies could offer you anything like the services and collaboration potential and marketing deals, etc., that the bigger people can offer you. Maybe they can. Maybe I'm totally wrong about that. But everyone I know who is with a smaller company than me does not get the same out of it as I do. So I guess that's what's going to finish up my message here as we approach the 12-minute mark. As I was saying at the start, if you like these little bits of just me chatting, feel free to let me know in the comments, and indeed if you want me to talk about anything in particular, you can ask, and I may cover it next time. Also, I'm open to suggestions about what the hell to call this series, because I've got no idea. I tried to think of a few before starting, but no, I hated all the ones I thought up. So, and hopefully this will fill the gap for those of you who are missing any kind of podcast. And I know that not everybody likes listening to videos, with basically no pictures or anything, so I totally understand if this isn't for you. That's why these are small, and they'll just be to one side alongside my regular one video a day uploads of my various playthroughs, Monster Hunter, State of Decay potentially, and of course my Let's Look Ats of indie games. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hopefully there'll be more to come potentially. Ta-ta for now.